Hi, this video is going to discuss speed and velocity. By the end of this, students will be able to recite the equations for and the differences between speed and velocity. So let's recap the difference between distance and displacement. Remember that distance and displacement are not the same thing. Distance is a scalar quantity, meaning it only has magnitude, or a numerical amount. Time is an example of a scalar, something that can't be negative. Displacement is a vector, meaning it has magnitude and direction. In other words, something can move a certain distance in a specific direction. On the equation sheet that you have access to, the letter D with a little f, sub f, will be used to denote the final position of an object, and di is used to denote an object's initial position. So the I and f stand for initial and final, and the D stands for distance or displacement. The standard unit for any position length or distance is meters. So if our problem gives it in some other unit, sometimes we have to convert back and forth. In general, distance is the total length traveled, and displacement is the net change of position, or the difference between your starting and ending positions. So mathematically speaking, the displacement is delta d, it's Greek letter delta, which means change. So delta d could also be the same thing as the d with the vector arrow, like we talked about during the vector class. So this would be the final position minus the initial position. That's just the mathematical way of saying the difference between the starting and ending positions. Same thing. Speed is defined as how fast something is moving. It's a scalar, so it doesn't involve direction. So and also it can't be negative, therefore. So the equation for speed is distance divided by time. The standard units for speed are meters per second, or m/s. Velocity is different since velocity is a vector. It's defined as displacement over time. It has magnitude and direction, so there's a number and a direction associated with it. So its equation is the displacement over time, or the difference between the final initial positions and time. And the units are still meters per second, that's not any different. So to recap information from this video, the main difference between speed and velocity is that speed is a scalar and velocity is a vector. Their equations are pretty similar, except velocity has the final minus the initial one instead of just distance. The units for both are meters per second. So these are the only differences between the equations, whether it's distance over time or the displacement over time. Thanks for watching.